Welcome back to another Creative Encounter podcast. I'm your host, Duet Payne, and I thank you so much for tuning in today. If you guys are watching on YouTube, hello. We would love for you guys to subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. And if you're on Spotify, please leave a rating. All of this helps us to reach so many more Kingdom creatives with this podcast. But without further ado, I have a very, very good friend and special guest here with me, Stephen L. Dukes. What is going on, bro?
I'm great, man. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Dude. Oh, man, dude. Thank you so much for coming. Like, I know you busy, got a lot going on, and just carving out time to come over and chop it up with me is just such a blessing, man. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, dude.
Excited.
This is awesome. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Steve. So this guy, I feel, is like the example of putting the work in for something that you're passionate about and then executing on that gift. Like, God has just gifted Steve, man, just with his giftings. And sometimes you can kind of take that and be like, oh, I'm good at this specific thing. But then I'm also, he has that balance of just like literally just being just such a great friend, if that makes sense, So I just yeah, dude, for real, dude. I just really appreciate it because you carve out so much time for me. Even with everything that you're doing right now, the season that you're in, when I just have like questions here and there. And as I'm trying to elevate in different ways and stuff, and you just are just always a support. So I just really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course. Dude, so let me tell you how me and Steve got started. So OBC, dude, OBC. So Ordained by Christ, that was the first band that I was in with. Steve grew up actually with the one who founded the band, our guy Tim Ross, founded the group. Justin, all of us were in the band together back in the day, and he called Steve to do some recordings and work on some music with us. And man, I was just looking up to this dude since. I'm like, oh snap, I need to learn from this guy straight up. So, dude, but like for me, that was like back when I was kind of first starting, and all of that. So you were already playing for a while. So like, when did you really just get into, just playing music and had all that start? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. So first of all, ironically, there are only a few people who know me well enough to call me just Steve and have that make sense.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everybody who's known me 20 years plus, I'm older than I look, it's Steve.
Okay, yeah.
People after that is Steven. And then new people is just Dukes, just the last name. So
now, I actually feel like I coined Dukes.
That might be true.
I mean, everybody said that, but whenever I'm just casually talking to you, I'm like, oh yeah, Dukes is coming up.
You know me long enough to take credit for that. Yeah. I don't mind.
You look at my phone, and it says Dukes. Like,
well, except I got 3 brothers and a dad that also have the same last name. So womp womp. I've been music for me started in high school.
Okay.
I'm a homeschool kid. Shout out homeschool kids. It works. I'm normal mostly. But I had this desire to be a gospel rapper, and there's
I did not
recordings
know that.
of that somewhere.
I did not know that.
May show up at some point.
Okay.
I mean, I sound a little like Common Sense. It was like East Coast hip hop. Yeah. That was my thing. And so,
so what was your name? Because if you rap, you typically had a name.
Wow, that's a great question. I don't even remember.
No,
it'll come.
Dukes.
It'll come back when it comes back. I'll tell you. Yeah. But me and 2 of my friends from Progressive, what's up, Brandon and Ashur, I forget our names. It was 20-something years ago.
Wow.
But we saved up our own money at 15, 16. We saved up a couple grand and went in the studio and recorded.
Wow.
And there was a executive that we knew, record executive, that we were going to pitch the music to. And ironically enough, it was like they were involved with like big time Chicago artists at the time, like Crucial Conflict, Psychodrama.
Oh, wow.
That camp, which gospel rap and them. But hey, and so we spent this money, recorded 3 songs. Ella Crew was the name of our band.
You literally just popped.
Elemental Crew was the name of our.
That's dope.
And I still don't remember what my rap name was. But anyway, so we recorded a little small 3-song thing. Yeah. And then after we spent all the money, I was like, I'm not going to make any money rapping. Like that was a connection. And I was like, I should do something else with music because I really enjoy this, but this rapping is not it. Yeah. And so my dad played guitar, had a guitar at the house. I was like, man, I should learn to play guitar. Wow. Grabbed a guitar, started learning how to play that. Me and one of the original members of the group, we started a production team together. It was Steven Strings and Brandon Keys. And we moved in a little small spot place together and did the broke sharing the dollar menu and trying to make music, and that was the start. And then it kind of spiraled upward from there.
That's crazy. So you started off rapping, then went to guitar. Mm-hmm. Never knew. Okay, and then you were about, you said 15 or 16?
15 or 16 when I started playing guitar. Right after I went to college, figured out that wasn't a good fit for me, but didn't want to go home.
Oh, college specifically.
And then that's when, well, at the time at least, and that's when me and Brandon got a place together and started the production, our little company, and it kind of picked up from there.
That's crazy, dude. I had no idea, because like the way you play, I thought you've been playing like from out the womb. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I mean, ironically enough, I only played guitar because nobody I knew played guitar.
Okay.
It's not actually, I mean, I play enough of everything to kind of be functional.
Yeah.
Guitar's the hardest of the instruments for me to play. It's the least natural thing for me to play.
I think in general it's just a difficult instrument. Like when I'm teaching, so I'm starting to teach Landon how to play. Okay. You know, so we're starting on like piano. Yeah. And then and he sings like really well. Yeah. So, but then going to guitar, like we have an ukulele we bought a couple years ago and stuff. Get him there, because starting like a little kid on just guitar straight away is tough. Man. You know, but man, that's so dope.
Well, guitar's trash. Everybody, if you're trying to learn guitar, give it 6 months, because it's really bad in the beginning, and it's you're gonna be bad. Yeah. And it's not natural. You just got to push through. Give it 6 months, and then the fun time starts.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's good. That's good to know. Should have told me that some years ago. Okay. So you got a big family.
Yes.
Now I know some of your brothers and sister, and then you come in even while we're setting up. He's telling me like, oh yeah, it's 7 of us. I'm like, what? Like I don't know how I didn't know this for the last like 15 years, but that's crazy. So tell me about all of you guys. All of you guys are musical. It looks like.
Yeah. So there are 2 violinists, a singer, 2 guitar players, a bass player, who am I forgetting? And a pianist. Yeah. And my youngest brother plays keys.
Yeah. Wow, I love that, dude. And you guys got all of that from just your dad, or
no? My mom grew up singing in church. I mean, we were kind of. It wasn't that my family was overtly musical when we were younger, but we were homeschool kids. Yeah. So we just got the creative. My parents made sure we were feeding the creative part of what and really, even my brothers, they didn't really get into music until they got older. Like none of us really like locked in on music till like late high school, which is late for music typically. If it's like a thing you're born to do.
Right.
But it's been great.
That's awesome. And then with your dad being a musician, how was that in the home as far as like learning and studying from him and everything? Because sometimes like I teach certain students, and it could be one of those things where I see like the parents will kind of push it on their kids, and I'm like, they don't really want to learn this right now, so why am I kind of teaching them? I always tell the parent like, when they're ready for it, then let's revisit this. So how was that kind of dynamic,
Did not feel any pressure at all. My parents were more so very supportive of what we wanted to do. In fact, my parents let me build my first studio in their basement when they moved out to the suburbs. Yep. So I shout out Willie and Linda. Thank y'all. You gave me a chance. And they just were always supportive of whatever we wanted to do in whatever direction, and then kind of let us grow into.
That's it right there.
So pressure is not always, kids can't make their own decisions per se. Right. But, you don't want to like force them into something so that they don't enjoy it, because then they won't stick.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I love that. That's so dope. Now, if you guys listen to like my earlier recordings, Eternal Dance specifically, that's all Steve. That was just really helping with like the composition, the production, kind of just like putting the music on it, because we already had like the bass of those tracks, so I'm a bass player, so I'm just playing the root, like I'm just writing stuff. So I'm a lyricist and was initially first bass player. So as I'm writing songs, I'm just kind of like these are notes and everything, and you and Justin kind of help put it together. But man, those riffs and guitar lines and everything that kind of came from those songs, that was pretty much you do just from us rehearsing.
No, thank you.
Putting that stuff together, man. So I just really appreciate that. So if you guys want to hear some of that original stuff back in the day, that was Steve playing on those tracks, and it was just such a blessing. But Steve, tell me some other projects that you worked on over the years. And I've heard something, I think you were mentioning some other stuff kind of blew up unexpectedly. So tell me about that.
So I actually spent 8 years playing as a producer for Twista, of all things, right? God opened some really crazy doors. So that in turn led to some songs with like Keisha Cole, Anthony Hamilton. Wow. There's a really big song with Faith Evans called Hope. Mm-hmm. We playing guitar. It was on the Coach Carter soundtrack. Oh, no I actually got to go to LA and be at the video shoot, and I stood 4 feet from Samuel L. Jackson.
Dude, I did not know this.
I didn't talk to him. He real scary.
Yeah, really?
Like 6'4".
So he lit a scary.
Oh, he's a scary human.
Oh,
like
man.
I was like, he made me feel like if I talked to him, he was gonna let me have it.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna get cursed out. So I just didn't. He was smoking a cigarette right by me, and I just was like, never mind, I'm good. Yeah. But yeah, and then that eventually started. I mean, I've done tons of records for a bunch of local, really great people. Ended up in Todd Dulaney's camp in the end, and that's who I'm touring with and playing for now. And I played on 4 or 5 of his albums, I feel like. And God is. I mean, I've been on songs that are literally double platinum, and that's crazy. That's awesome. Todd has 4 straight Billboard #1s. From all the albums have released at #1. Got a new single dropping pretty soon. It'll be out by the time this airs, and new album probably first or second quarter this year too. Guys being really good, man.
Praise God, that's so dope. So you got to backtrack a little and tell me how you and Todd even connected.
Wow. So short version of a really long story. Yeah. Basically, we both grew up in Maywood, but I'm a little older than him. We just didn't really run into each other ever. Actually, he went to Walther Lutheran. I went to Timothy Christian before homeschool, and it's weird. We just didn't run into each other. Right. Fast forward, I know his producer Jamel just from knowing people in Chicago. Jamel on Todd's first record called "Pulling Me Through." They needed a guitar player on a couple songs. Jamel asked me could I do it. I was like, sure. He actually invited me to the studio to meet Todd, and it's funny. I think it was in Aurora, but I met Todd, and I'll never forget. He just didn't have on shoes, which made me be like, "Oh, this dude's working." Like, you committed
in the studio.
If your shoes somewhere else, that means you probably spent the night. I really respected his work ethic. He's the hardest working artist I've ever been around. So that came out, and then for whatever reason, scheduling, we never ended up really connecting after that, and then God's timing. So fast forward a bunch of years later, I'm at Studio Movie Grill with my fiance Jana, who's now my wife, and sitting on the front row as we walk in is Jamel. Jamel says, "Dukes, man, I haven't seen you forever. Man, I got this thing for you." And I'm like, okay, whatever. Industry talk. He calls me. He says, "Man, Todd Dulaney's doing album release for a Worshipper's Heart CD. That's the one that has the anthem and Consuming Fire on it." So I didn't play on the album, but I did play at the album recording. I had a week to learn all the songs, played acoustic, and then fast forward 2-3 weeks later, Todd needed a guitar player for a gig in, I think it was Atlanta. Everybody else wasn't available. I could do it, and then gradually over time, I just ended up being the guitar player, or one of them, for the team. And that was 15 countries ago, and all over Earth. We played stadiums and all type of ridiculous things.
Dude, praise God. That's crazy. Like the part that stood out to me is when you said everybody else wasn't available. Those opportunities, just like God, availing yourself, but then just what's for you is for you. Just like what God has for you is just for you. You can't.
Yeah, you gotta wait. You only lose if you quit, because especially with stuff like these, it has to be your season. And when it's your turn, it's going to be your turn. You won't have to do anything spectacular to make that happen.
So dope. I love it, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now these are projects that you've worked on, for a lot of other individuals and stuff. What's some, I guess, Stephen Dukes, some Dukes music or projects that we can kind of expect, or things that you're working on currently?
Well, my wife, Jana Dukes, is actually a worship pastor and an artist, so we're working on her project. I am working on some, I didn't mention this before, but I'm working on some content myself, just some music people can use as underscore for socials and stuff like that. And I'm working on like a sample library. I'm also a producer, so I've got some stuff kind of in the works with my own production, some artists that I'm producing music for. too, on top of everything else. We do have, I got a new company we started where we're selling water bottles, which is really dope. I think we can get into that.
That's brand new. That's like
that's I don't know, a month old.
Wow.
And I'm also the creative director of Dulaney Land Music, which is I use a different arm of my skill set, different part of my tool belt. I'm actually really great at strategy and leadership and management and team leading and team building and all that stuff is stuff that I do too.
Yeah, I love it. That's so dope. Yeah, and Dulaney Land Music, it was awesome. I was able to be a part of that, for a season. Pretty much, they just came up with this idea to just really support other creatives and songwriters and pushing music out into the earth. Like that's like their heart. I think you said, how many tracks? How many records?
So we were able, this Todd and I and another young lady, Ilya Jackson, we started this company during COVID, and we've produced over 700 records for different people all around the world. Just think of it like Uber. Basically, there's tons of creatives who, because of COVID, are sitting at home, couldn't work. And then you have lots of people who want to work on music but don't know anybody, right? They don't know a bass player or a singer or a songwriter or a pianist or a guitarist. And so our company is the middleman between the two, and we were able to help a lot of people make a lot of really great music.
Man, I love it. That's crazy, man. That's shameful though. Like 700 tracks in 2 years, and we trying to push out these records and taking years. So, man, but that really just mentally, pushes me to be like, yo, all of this is possible. There's like pretty much nothing that's like impossible, especially in today's day and age with technology and all of that, Right. But that's one tip. But then to the water bottle, how did that even come to be?
Like, so I'm really big on strategy. Like I just want to know how things happen. Like that's always been important to me. And so like when you talk about like manufacturing process or even having multiple streams of income, right? Everybody's sold T-shirts before, right? We've all done that. So I just wanted to, me and my sister-in-law, my sister and my brother-in-law Tom, we wanted to do something different than what we normally do. Yeah. So, and shout out to my sister. She designed this jacket.
That's fine.
But
she got one of my size.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, for real. I can get that. I can make that happen. Yes, but it was just like, man, we were talking and we were like, how can we make a product and go from start to finish fast and go to market fast? Like, what can we do? Because we normally, one thing that's where we struggle is we have a great idea, but then we get trapped at the beginning. It's always too big.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
So like, let's do something small that we can do, and just at least we'll learn process. Yeah. If we don't sell 50,000 units, at least we know we can do it. And so in about 3 weeks, we went from not having a company to having product in hand, and it's been really great. And again, if nothing else, just learning the how, because a lot of times like setting goals is not about the goal; it's about becoming the person that could achieve the goal. Yeah. So like this has been really great for us because now I know, I could make a thing and sell it. Yeah. And I didn't know anything about water bottles, and I still don't.
You want to share?
Yes. So this is from our company. It's called Aqualux Co. You are welcome to get one of these. We're gonna post a link for it somewhere, and we'll pin it in the chat, and you can check these out. They keep your drink either hot or cold for up to 8 hours.
Love it. And then Steve just started going to the gym more recently. Yeah. And that's what the idea kind of birthed, I guess.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is, I'm trying to take better care of myself. Yeah. And one of the things I noticed at the gym was everybody had water bottles. And then even, you go to work. Yeah. You look in the refrigerator at work, everybody's got a water bottle. How do you tell them apart? Well, so I was like, that's a need. That's a space we could fill. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Can't wait to get this is a sample right now.
No, they're available.
They're available now?
Available
cool.
Right now.
So, when this is over, I'm going to need to order one. Just like, now y'all going to order one too. So that's dope. I'm excited. But it's just crazy how God is, like creativity is just limitless. You got the musical side of things, production side of things. I mean, you're just a producer in general. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever taken that Adobe quiz. What type of creative you are?
Yeah, I have not. I've heard of it.
Dude,
I need to try it.
Please take it. It's so accurate. It's freakishly accurate.
Got it.
The description and everything breaks down as I'm reading, it's like, this is literally me. It's insane. But I think you would definitely fall under that producer category that they have in there when you check it out. You know, it's just like, it's insane. So, but okay, so this is what we typically do as we wrap things up is we ask our guests, or even just leave them with a nugget, but something to leave our guests with, something to ponder on, or a question that they can wrestle with as they continue to develop in their craft, or something that we can share with everyone to take them to that next level.
Yeah. And so something I would share, well, two separate things, if I can.
Yeah.
The first thing is going to be for those of you who want to play at the level where you're touring with like national recording artists at that level. So three things that you want to do, right? The first thing is that you always want to be on time. That's such a weird thing. Like if you're the last one there, you're late. Even if you're before, you just never want to be the person that people are thinking about. Yeah. And oddly enough, I also use that as a formula for worship teams too. If you want to make a great worship team, everybody be on time and everybody be on the same page. You do those two, you have a great time. Anyway, I digress. The second thing that you want to do is know the material.
Yeah.
Like, don't learn your version of the song. Learn the song. Yeah. Play the songs. I mean, I'm a gifted guitar player, but I'm not the best guitar player in the world. But guess what? Nobody can beat me at playing songs because I'm just playing the song. Yeah. You can't play a song better than I can play a song if it's the actual parts, right? And then the third thing is be a really good hang. Like, be a good person to be around. Like, it's nothing like being trapped somewhere with somebody for a couple months and you don't like them. You will not be invited back. You don't want to be the person that people are like, I don't, you know. And it could be, I mean, it could be like hygiene. It could be sense of humor. It could be all of those things can impact whether you get a call back for like higher level stuff. Yeah. So those three things I would really lock in on. And then just from a personal advice standpoint of view, I think every creative should do some inventory and make sure that you are focus on your gifts and not your passions. And that they don't always, I think we do it backwards. I think that creatives, we take a thing we're passionate about and we think that this is what we're supposed to put all our energy into because we care about it. But it's not actually what we're really gifted to do. Yeah. So I was telling Jouette kind of off camera that I don't believe that I'm gifted to play guitar.
I told him stop lying to me.
I practice a lot. My gift is to create music, and guitar is the instrument I picked. I can play other instruments easier than I can play guitar. Guitar just makes sense because no one plays guitar, so I picked that instrument. But the thing is, if I was relying on guitar to make my livelihood, I'm not good enough at that to make enough to take care of my family. But I'm passionate about it. I care, but. And I'm not willing to do what I would need to do to be good enough. I'm not willing to sacrifice that because I'm passionate about it, but I'm not gifted, if that makes sense. Now, on the other hand, you know, there's all these other qualities I have that are gifts that are very easy. So, like, that's where being a producer or being a director or being a manager or being an executive producer or just organizing, admin, if those things are things that you have that are gifts, find tasks using those gifts that pay your livelihood and then fund your passion that way. That makes sense. Otherwise, you're just going to be miserable because you can't figure out why nobody cares about this thing that you care about. Well, it's because it's not your gift, and so it doesn't make room for you. I function as a service producer now at church. I used to play every Sunday, and guess what? I realized guitar players are really easy to find, but service producers are not easy to find. Oh, ding, ding, ding. There's a thing that I am gifted to do that can fund my passion. Wow.
We're going to sit on that. We're going to end right there. It's like you got to sit on that part because, dude, we do mix them up. And like you said, they're not always necessarily the exact same thing. I think we can rest. And So I'm giving y'all homework. I want you guys to write this down, even make 2 line items even of passion and gifting. And passion and gifting is more so what just like literally just comes easy. What God you don't think about it, it's just like I'm able to do this. Passion, we already know just passion is like this. I'm just really zealous about I wish if there were no other factors, this is what I will be doing type of thing. Lay those out, see if they merge, but see what the differences are, and see if that gift can help to initiate and give the fuel to that passion. And obviously just seek the Lord on what He wants, what He wants you to do. But man, that's what I'm meant to be doing. This is crazy.
Me too. It's a good one. It was a big shift in my life though, and believe it or not, it was when I changed from being a guitar player, which is part of me, right? Yeah. But to being the person people see as a music director or I'm a C-level executive at a company. Mm-hmm. Like those parts are actually really easy. Mm-hmm. Like that, or even this, right? Mm-hmm. You host a podcast. Yeah. This is easy for you.
For me, me and Gabby talk about this. Like this definitely is. I guess it's just easy.
So this is gift.
Flows. Yeah,
this is gift. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what God has in store, but who's to say that this thing isn't the gift that funds all the other things that you're passionate about? But we just have to be willing to be honest with ourselves about
that's it right there.
Where stuff, and it's not, you don't lose by admitting something that's just a passion and not a gift. Because I mean, for transparency's sake, gifted guitar players to me are people like Justin Lee Schultz or Eric Gales or Jimi Hendrix. Like this person was gifted to play this instrument. Yeah. I just practice a lot. Yeah. And it's not easy for me. I have to work to be good, which is okay. But then that lets me know, does the amount of time I would have to commit working to get to their level, is it worth it for me? And it's probably not. So good. Not if I want to have a family, it's not. Yeah. So what does that mean? Well, I don't have 4 hours a day to practice guitar. I got an hour. I got 30 minutes. I probably need to do something else too.
Even that's more than what a lot of us do.
Yeah. And I mean, but that's, I mean, at the level we are all at, you don't even get to practice. You just learn the material you need to be functional. Yep. So the thing is, if we can find other things that we're gifted at to do, and then start to have the gift create resources. Now the resources can fund the passions, and everybody's happier because you're not grumpy trying to figure out why nobody's buying my guitar CD that,
Dude, this is crazy. Oh my goodness. That was on point, bro. Thank you so much. I needed that. I mean, I'm telling y'all think I'm playing. I keep forgetting about y'all when I'm doing this podcast at this point because I'm sitting here receiving all these blessings from these conversations and stuff, man. So I'm just like really enjoying this and just really hope that this is a blessing to you guys. But Steve, I just want to just honor you right now, man, and just say you have been just such a blessing in my craft. I mean, I'm just literally watching you and everything that you're doing, and it's just pushing me. You are literally leading, I feel, a generation of creatives. I mean, you're leading a generation of individuals into worship. But us who are creatives, who are trying to get to that caliber and level, we are watching you, and you are leading in excellence. I just I really appreciate you, and just the work that we've done together, and even just hitting me up for stuff, and because we could have that imposter syndrome at times. It's like, and you just hit me up. It's just such a blessing, and looking forward to just working together in the future more on different things, and just learning from you even more, man.
Well, I appreciate that. I just think we don't put enough effort into being good people. Like I don't know what God's going to do for you. But I do know I would be real mad if you're the person that has the key to the door I need to get in. And because I was trash all these years, when you up and you can pull me up, that you won't because of how I treated you. And I just think we have to be very intentional about planting seeds that we want the harvest from.
Amen.
And like invest in people, and like, it doesn't mean that you have to put yourself in harm's way, but invest in people. And like, somebody's gonna make it. One of us is gonna make it. Just if I make it, I got you. You make it. Well, I know Steve can do this, this, and this. Don't call a stranger. Call him for these things. That's how it works.
Man, praise God. I love it. Guys, this was another Creative Encounter interview with Steve Dukes. Dukes, thank you so much, bro. This was awesome. And guys, if you want to support Creative Encounter and Duet Z-Pain Music, please click the link below to become a monthly partner. We are a nonprofit through ACT International, so any monthly support is helping us do the podcast, the monthly events that we host for artists to be able to perform and create, and all of the ministry that we do on stage and performing and leading worship and all of that. So we just really love and appreciate you guys. I hope this was a blessing, and we'll see you next time.